Hi there, it's Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, Women on TV.tv and IT 247 out of Franklin, Tennessee. And today, everybody's always wondering why I wear my shirts. The reason why I love my gratitude shirts, my gangster shirts, my, what am I wearing? My grateful shirts is because of the woman downstairs right there out of Florida. And Terry was, when I last posted this, Vismaya, she was like, I want one. So people have always been saying that. So it's been a while. We couldn't get everything together. We couldn't get in. We couldn't get you into Tennessee from Florida. You're in Miami right now. You're going through things there. But talk about how you started everything and why your shirts are even more important now than when you first created them.
So thank you for having me. It is such a pleasure to be with you. I remember the time that we met, and you were exactly who you said you were, and I admire that about you. So thank you. You did it, and I remember you did exactly what you said you were going to do. You told me you were going to call me, and the next day you called me. So I appreciate you always being your word.
Hey,
you asked me,
and that shirt that you created for me is at 886,000 views. So in a day and a half, it will be at 9K. And Terry was on that show.
I love it.
And I'm so glad to finally meet you. Heard so much about you. I love your shirts. We have a lot to be, even with all this crazy world, we have a lot to be grateful for. So count your blessings every day. So I love the message.
Thank you. I always get asked, why do I wear them every day? They're like, do you own any other clothes? And the answer is, of course I do. I have a closet full of clothes, but I wear grateful shirts every day. And yesterday was such a perfect example as to why. It just was, it solidified my wearing them every day. So I was walking out of Office Depot yesterday actually, and I was kind of in my head because my mom's in an assisted living facility and I haven't been able to I've been able to see her, but not hug her or touch her for months. So I was kind of in my head about it because I know the cases in Florida are going up. And I walked out and this woman is like, grateful, I love your shirt. So of course I walked over and I said, hey, I make them, how are you? And I was on the verge of tears because I was really upset about the whole thing with my mom. And she's like, I gotta tell you today, I'm so grateful. I said, what happened? And she says, I live in a small place with my son, and we met this person today, and he has a room that he's going to go move into, and God is good, and everything is wonderful. And it was like a 5-minute interaction that completely shifted my entire being. And it was like, one of those, I wear it to spread good vibes, but then I also got a gift back because she turned around and gave me the greatest gift by sharing with me what she was grateful for. And that's just one example. I always tell people, they think I'm kidding, but I've been in stores and somebody calls out, hey, grateful, what's going on? I've been walking on the beach. I've been hugged. I've been high-fived. The only thing that hasn't happened yet is I have not gotten a date. So I'm looking. That's coming. I know it.
Hey, Vismaya, talk about why. I mean, I love this. I have 4 different types, so I've always wearing it. I don't care. I just like to wear them. Talk about the cut, why it's important, and then describe it to Terry. Because she's in the medical field, but also she's always working out in the fitness side of things.
My background is I'm a businesswoman and then a fitness competitor, and then also host with Brian as social media influencer. So I need to be wearing the grateful shirt. So please tell me about them.
So they are 100% cotton. At least the one I'm wearing is right now the shirts, like the V-necks, and the women's shirts are V-neck, and I picked them specifically because I'm very curvy. So I figured that they have to look good on my body if I'm going to wear them. And what I have found is that for most women, 99% of the women that wear them, they look fantastic because it's a woman's cut. So you feel feminine, but it's snug at the right places and it's loose fitting at the right places. And it just makes you feel pretty. It's a V-neck, but it's not one that comes down so low that everything is showing unless you want it to. But it's a very flattering fit today. And I was dropping some off today to a friend of mine who gives them to all his clients. And he's like, I love the way women look in these shirts. So, and even for the guys, it's a nice fit. It's a very good cotton. They wash really well. And that was really important for me when I was picking out the brand of shirt I wanted to use, because I wanted to obviously be something that lasts and people are proud of wearing and it feels good and it makes you feel pretty. So you feel pretty from the inside and you feel pretty on the outside.
That's always important. It's kind of hard right now to, you know, because everything's like slowed down, to feel pretty all the time. Like I put makeup on to do these shows now. I'm like, oh, I forgot what it looked like with makeup on. So, you know, anything to brighten up your day.
It's funny because when I do a live, I always have lipstick on, or I'll put a little, you know, blush. And then my friend will say to me, "You must have done a live today." I'm like, "Why?" She goes, "Because you're wearing lipstick."
You put makeup on.
Talk about why you started this website. How that came about. Why was that for you?
So it was on 11/11/11. I went to a woman's workshop, and this young girl was talking about, she had these little boxes by her bed, and she put down what she was grateful for, her wishes, her prayers, her dreams, what the things that she wanted to kind of get rid of, her fears. And I started thinking about it, and I had just done some fall cleaning, and I saw these little boxes that I've gotten. I've traveled all over the world, and I was like, but they're too small for me to do the same thing. I left the workshop. I forgot about it. A couple days later, one of my really good friends called me up, and she was telling me about her awful day at work. And she wasn't a complainer normally. So all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute. If you had a gratitude bag, you could write down all the things you were grateful for. You could open up your gratitude bag and read about all the things you were grateful for, and your mood would change. And that was really how the whole movement started, was to get people to focus on what works in their life versus all of the other stuff. It doesn't mean it's going to disappear, but it gives you the tools, or it gives you constant reminders of what works in your life when we write these things down. And that was really how it started. And then fast forward, I was a teacher in Miami, so I had my students keeping gratitude charts. We talked about the science behind gratitude, and tell a ninth grader that they're going to write down what they're grateful for, and they're going to look at you like you have lost your mind. So in the beginning, they were like, "Lady, you're crazy. I'm not doing this. I'm going to make stuff up." And slowly but surely, by the end of the school year, they were writing on their charts, "Thank you for making us do this. It made such a difference for us." And then with the shirts, really what happened was I do a lot of events out in the public, and somebody had a bunch of t-shirts on her table, and they had really cute sayings, but the t-shirt itself was boxy, and if I would have worn that shirt, I would have looked like a linebacker. So I came back and I'm like, what kind of shirts can I do? And that was it, and exploded. So this is just one of the lines I have. Let me show you this one. I don't think you've seen this one yet, Brian. This is my new one. What?
I like that. Gratitude Gangster. That's awesome.
And my students, my 10th grade students, actually coined the term gratitude gangsta. So, and then on the back, it has a definition. So, yay.
Very cool.
Well, when I think of Terry all the time, she says she's grateful for things all the time. So I always think of her, which is why I wanted to have her on, and I wasn't sure if she was going to be here. So I was glad that she was able to make it, because, you know, I'm always wanting to post their shirts up because they are important and people can respond to them. And it's amazing how many people really respond to them because they feel what we need today, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just think there's so much negative energy in the universe right now that I don't know. I'm kind of one of those kind of people. What you put out the universe is what comes back. And I think collectively, as we as humans need to put more positive energies out there and start wearing more positive messages, because it's just, everybody just is depressed, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a good message.
Thank you. And I think, you know, it's interesting because I think I agree with you that we have a lot of craziness out there, but I find what people are trying to do is suppress it and not talk about it and not think about it. Either that, floating with it. And the idea is what I teach people is, like, really, if you're feeling sad right now, express it, share it, but then also, what can you learn from that situation? What can I gain from that situation? Because there are some things right now that are going around that are kind of sad, but what can I find? Like you were saying, where's the positive in it? What can I learn? What are my lessons? And we get to focus on those great things that, even though we're in 3 different states, we get to have this awesome conversation, or people are spending more time with their families. they're doing things that they never thought that they could do before. They're reinventing themselves. So I think that you're right. We get to choose whether we focus on that or not.
I know they've been saying that more people are having nightmares and restful sleep because it's all coming out in people's sleep patterns because all this negative energy is being built up in their heads. So yeah, again, it's just try to put the positive out there. And you got to, like, every day I try to wake up and go, okay, what am I grateful for today? Like, I'm grateful I got out of bed. I'm grateful I live by the beach. I mean, everybody's got things that, you know, that they're grateful for. So instead of focusing on what I don't have, focus on what you do have.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you.
When you have a lot of the workshops that you do, you have a multitude of people, different colors, sizes, shapes. And I like that. Talk about how you put those people together and you took those photos. I think a lot of them are outside, if I'm correct.
With the shirt you're talking about?
Yeah.
So it was interesting because I've always wanted my brand I wanted to always be very conscious that my brand represented everybody. So people of color, white people, gay, straight, didn't matter for me. I always wanted, and I was always very conscious that we represented everybody, because I want, you know, gratitude is a universal principle. And for times it was that I was going through my photos and I was looking and I was like, wait a minute, everybody looks the same. But I would reach out to people that I knew that had the shirts, and I'm like, please send me a photo. I need to see something other than people that look like me. And that was really what kind of started the flow of that. That's always been in the forefront of my mind, though, of having a brand that represents people. So
Terry, what are you grateful for today?
What, you're talking to me?
Yeah.
What am I grateful for today?
Uh-huh.
I am grateful that I have such beautiful friends that are always there to cheer me up when I get into my own head and start like going down that path to, you know, kind of straighten me out. I mean, we all have a tendency to do that, but yeah, I'm just blessed with good people in my life.
And Vismaya,
where do you live?
today?
I'm in Redondo Beach, California. So I live 2 blocks from the beach. So I am grateful that I am very fortunate that I can get up every morning and go running at the beach, and I can go down there and kind of like, it's like serenity for me, where I can kind of look at the ocean and go, you know, it's not so bad. So
I'm on the other coast.
You're on the other coast.
I'm in Florida. So I used to live 1.3 miles from the beach. Now I live 5, and I'm like, oh my God, I live in the hood because I'm 5 miles. But I go to the beach more now than I did when I lived 1.5 miles. So
yeah.
You know what's interesting too is, like, I live 2 miles from the beach, and like I'm utilizing the beach more now than ever because I kind of took it for granted. I don't take it for granted anymore, especially when they closed the beach for like, I think they closed our beach for like a month, and I was going crazy. I'm like, I felt like a dog, like a little dog that wanted to get out of the house, you know. It just, so that kind of made me appreciate, you know, where I live. So where in Florida are you? Where in Florida are you?
Hollywood. So
Okay.
a little north of Miami. I'm a Miami girl, but now I live in Hollywood. So
okay. Yeah, my cousin lives in Miami, and I have a really good girlfriend who lives in Tampa. So
okay, I went to school in Tampa.
Talk about now you're making masks. We talked last week of changing things around, and all of a sudden, watch and see what happens with your mask now.
Yeah, it's
Terry, I had a talk with her. I told her what she needed to do and stop complaining about stuff. I said, you've got the ultimate brand of being blessed and grateful and gratitude. Show it on the mask. It will never go out of style. So now she's, you know, she goes, you're right. So talk about that.
it had that was already in the works, but I didn't want to do it necessarily, but that's going to happen because, like you guys have been saying, you know, the idea is to get really the message out there, and the name of my brand is Living in Gratitude Today. So if we can practice every day living in gratitude, even if it's for the small things, even if it's for, you know, wow, I woke up and I saw a beautiful sunset. Like you were saying, you know, I've never really walked in my neighborhood. I would get up and drive the 5 miles and go to the beach or go to the park that's close by. And once the pandemic hit and we were quarantined, what I started to do was walk around my neighborhood. And then I remember one day seeing this one beautiful owl. He would come out of his burrow, and in my head he was like trying to say hello to me. In his head he was like, "Lady, go away, get away from me." So I had an imaginary relationship with this owl. And then the next time I went by, I would still see the same owl. And then one day I went by and there were 2 owls. And then another time I went by and there were 3 owls. And I'm like, I thought I'd hit the jackpot. And then the last time I had gone by, there were 5 owls. I'm like, oh my God. So it's really about tapping into those little tiny things that we have to be grateful for. Looking at life, there was a quote I just read, and I think it was Barbara Fredrickson said, "The negativity shouts at us, the positivity whispers."
Mm-hmm.
So when you're living in gratitude today, the whole idea is to turn up the volume on that positivity, to turn up the volume so that you hear with your ears and you see with your eyes those beautiful moments that just make you smile. And it may be a glimpse. It may be something small that comes and goes very quickly. But that's the whole power behind the whole movement, is to really tap into those spaces and to notice the things and to live with your eyes open. Because we could focus on all the stuff that's going on right now, or we can look for juiciness. So
Beautiful, beautiful message.
thank you.
Well, all right. So Terry, you've seen the shirts that I wear. Which one fits you? Is it grateful or gratitude for you?
She has blessed too, right? Doesn't she have another one that's blessed?
I do have blessed, yeah.
Yeah. I like the blessed. I think I don't know. They're all good messages. I don't know, for some reason the blessed kind of sticks out to me a little bit. I don't know. Anyway,
what do people really like? You kind of have an idea now. Which ones do they really like? The last couple months.
It's funny because I always think I have it down to a science, and then I'm always surprised. But recently, most people have been buying the Grateful or the new one, which is Gratitude Gangster, because they're like,
I like that one too.
I need to tap into my inner gangster to, really amp up those muscle, that gratitude muscle. Like you exercise, that you go out, you want to build those muscles, you got to actually do the work to build the muscle. So when you practice gratitude, that's why I always say it's a gratitude practice, not like an attitude of gratitude, because you really have to do the work. And it comes with simple, consistent actions, as simple as every day looking for things that you're grateful for. And if you want to step it up and do something really challenging, it's not really challenging, let me rephrase that. To really amp up your gratitude practice, find things that are unique to the day. So I can't write down every day my owls because those are not unique to the day. I have to look for other things.
Well, it's a total mindset change. You're trying to reset how you think, you're thinking.
Absolutely.
And it's hard for people to do that. It's really hard for people to change anything. So, everything takes work.
Right. And it's about consistency. Like you exercise. I don't love to exercise, but one of the things I took on during the quarantine is walking every day, 10,000 steps. And watching me, like the last couple of days, I felt fallen off and haven't done it. The weather out, it's raining all the time here, and realizing that when I do it, how it makes me feel. So it's the same thing when you start to practice gratitude. You realize how it makes you feel, and then when you fall off, you're like, wait a minute, I need to go back in that space. So
Terry, tell her what you do.
Oh, I thought I did. Fitness competitor, and then I work in software, and then I host with Brian as social media influencer. So that's my gig.
So Vismaya, I see her wearing more of your shirts for her, whether she goes to the gym or just in general because of where she lives, that Hermosa, Redondo Beach, Manhattan Beach area.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really active outdoors. I mean, as far as rollerblading, stand-up paddling, bike riding, and I'm pretty interactive with the community here. So yeah, it's a good message to start wearing. Because we went out last night for a bike ride, and then we stopped at a local restaurant here in Hermosa for kind of a happy hour. I mean, everybody's outside on patio, which is nice, but it's like they still feel like the energy is not up. You know what I mean? People still are kind of like they're not. It's just not normal. So any positive message, I can put out there while I'm, even taking walks.
When we get offline, I'll give me your information. I'll send you one. I have a friend in Manhattan Beach. That place is beautiful.
No, it is beautiful here. Yeah, and it's I think more of us are, realizing how lucky we are. We had that conversation last night. But I'm in South Redondo, the Riviera section, almost to PV. But I mean, this whole area is just really neat. It's a fun place to live.
I'm sure.
Talk about people. How can they support your website and why it's important?
So there's a couple of things. I have founded a movement. So it's not just the shirts and the products, but it's really a lifestyle. Like if you want to learn how to tap into that space of gratitude and have somebody on your side who constantly gives you little nudges and little pokes and sends you information. Like what I do is I do a lot of research on the tips and the techniques on how to practice gratitude, how to practice, if I'm dealing with stress, what are some things I can do to get me back into that space of kind of an equilibrium so I'm not so stressed out. People can go to the website, which is livingingratitudetoday.com, or they can text the word grateful to 64600. So that's the easiest way, and you can get shirts, you can get all sorts of goodies, and then you can join the movement.
Love it.
Thank you.
But I will definitely start wearing it, and I'm sure that people will be asking where I got my shirt.
It's interesting. I'd love to hear the feedback because I love to hear the stories when people see it and what they say and their reaction. It's been very fun.
Yeah, I'm going back to the gym on Monday, which I'm really excited because I'm doing my home workouts and I'm kind of going stir crazy because I'm missing that interaction. So it'll be good to be wearing that shirt. I'm sure it'll get a lot of attention.
Awesome. I'll send it to you when we get off of here. And
so from here, with the mask and with your shirts and with the brand, what do you hope to go from here, say between now and the rest of the year?
So my goal is to do my 2020 goal before everything started was to be on 200 podcasts and really blow the Living in Gratitude Today movement up, get people in the movement, because when you have the tools and the techniques on how to tap into that space of gratitude, when you're able to manage your stress, when you're able to change the way you're seeing the world simply by readjusting your focus or turning up that volume, like I said before, you're able to not only be happier and more productive and more excited, you also share that with people around you. So my goal is to grow the movement, as well as obviously I would love to sell gratitude swag because it looks great on everybody. It looks pretty, but my main goal is to really grow the movement, because if we can grow here and grow in our hearts, then everything else kind of tunes in. Our kids are watching everything we're doing right now. If we're being positive and excited and happy and being resilient and learning how to deal with a pandemic and whatever's thrown at us, our children are learning that as well. They're watching us not only through the pandemic, but through the whole social change that we're starting to deal with right now. The fact that we're talking about color and race, and we're really bringing that to the forefront. Our kids are watching us. So if I can do anything to be part of that to promote positivity, I'm there.
So Terry, for you, what would it be for between now and the rest of the summer? Because it's not the same for you. So I'm always feeling, I hope she's okay. When I call you, I'm sure, all right,
No, I'm good. I mean, now that I think that they're starting to do fitness shows again, I'm going to train for a show probably November, October. I'm back in the gym. So that's going to give me some kind of normalcy. I am actually going to be going to Tampa at the end of July for my birthday to see one of my really close friends, staying with her, which I'm excited about. I was kind of a little bit worried about flying, but I mean, I don't know. I'll just be, I need to see my friends. You know what I mean? So the other thing is that your family and friends are so important, and you don't never take them for granted.
When's your birthday?
July 30th.
I'm July 3rd. I'm turning 50 this July 3rd.
Well, I'm right. I'm about the same age. So but I just try to stay, young at heart and just stay active. So, but yeah, I'm excited to kind of, go somewhere, because I'm kind of getting like a little stir crazy, because I just feel like I'm the kind of person I'd love to travel, and I'm constantly on the go. So me kind of sitting here, I live in a beautiful area, but I'm kind of just, my head's like, I need to do something, you know, go visit some people I haven't seen for a while. And again, I just think that especially now, it's so important because you do realize that life is short and you don't know, you know, if that person's going to be here. I mean, me and Brian had this conversation tomorrow. You just don't know. So just every day, just be grateful and feel blessed and spend time with loved ones. That's the message that I, you know, feel close to my heart right now.
I think I agree with you. Like the awareness, the
Mhm.
being aware, and not in a fear space, not like, oh my God, what if I die
Yeah.
tomorrow? But like, what if I get to live today? Like, how do I want to live?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
And
That's
too many people aren't doing that. So hopefully, you know, we can wake some people up to, you know, think in that way.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, that's another thing too that I try to tell people with their fitness goals too. Wake up in the morning and don't look like, oh, I'm still 5 pounds overweight, or still 10 pounds. Look at like what you've accomplished. Maybe you like walked 10,000 steps a day. Maybe you were able to run that much farther. Kind of look at those accomplishments instead of like, you know, you're not where you want to be now, because you will never in your life be where you really want to be. You're always growing and you're always changing. You're never going to be that perfect person, no matter what you do. So
I hear you. I hear you.
So with that, give your website one more time before we go.
livingingratitudetoday.com or text the word grateful to 64600.
And Terry?
my official website is terrymarieofficial.com. And then you can follow me on Instagram on Terry Marie Nonstop.
And with that, so for Terry and Vismaya, I'm Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More. And if you see someone without a smile, please give them a grateful or gratitude or blessed shirt, because we all need it.